Welcome back to Read This Next with Laura and Nicole from the Thunder Bay Public Library. This week we are continuing our mini-series of on-the-screen options, so movies, TV shows, and we're specifically talking about comedies.
Yay! What everyone needs in their life all the time, and maybe especially right now.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Something light.
So, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're going to share a couple of different things. They're all available. They're all available in the Thunder Bay Library collection. So that means that you can look them up in the online catalog and place a hold and then pick it up and enjoy it home. And one of them, and we'll let you know which one, is even available on our new streaming service. So you can just watch it. You don't even have to come to the library. You can just watch it from home on any device.
Mm-hmm. And to find that, you would just have to go to www.tbpl.ca/digital library and then go to
Indeed.
the canopy section.
Mm-hmm.
Easy peasy. All right, do we want to get into it? Do you want me to start?
Sure, you start.
Okay. So our first one is a movie. It's Game Night. This one's pretty new. It honestly gives me the same vibe as Knives Out did. Like, it was a very fun movie.
Yes.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I can see that for sure. I did watch it. I would say it's not that new.
No?
It is good. It's not that new a movie.
When did it come out? Game Night movie. Let's see. 2018. So you're right. It's not super new.
Yeah, it's not super new. Okay. Still good though.
So relatively new. So I'll read the description just to start. So married competitive gamer couple Max and Annie are trying to have a child, but their attempts are unsuccessful due to Max's anxiety surrounding his feelings of inadequacy when compared to his wealthy and suave brother Brooks. That does not really suit the vibe of the movie, so we'll keep going.
It does not.
Yeah. Yes. During Max and Annie's routine weekend game night with their friends Ryan and married couple Kevin and Michelle, Brooks shows up in a Corvette Stingray, Max's dream car, and shares an embarrassing story about Max to throw him off during the game. Brooks offers to host the next game night at his house. So, this next game night, they go in and it's supposed to be like this live murder mystery party, and things go wrong. And suddenly they're in a real murder mystery is this murder mystery?
It's not
party game?
It's not even a party anymore.
No, it's not real. Yeah, they're trying to save Brooks, Max's brother. And along and like solve the real life clues and at the same time not get the police involved because, you know, classic bad guys, you can't get the police involved if you want your brother back. So
yes,
really good. Mm-hmm. You know what was cool though about that one? I don't know if maybe I've talked to you about this before, but throughout the movie they have to do classic board games accidentally. So there's a scene where they have to get out of a room and they keep stacking things on top of each other, which is Jenga. And they get out of the room doing Jenga, and it's like repeats throughout the movie, which is kind of cool. I liked it.
So if you're the kind of person who likes game nights with your friends and family, or, you know, are maybe a little unhealthily competitive with your friends or your family members, might be a good one for you. Mm-hmm. Also very it's like laugh out loud funny, but it also it's one of those ones where there's lots of twists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like you think you know where it's going, and then something else happens, and then something else happens.
Mm-hmm. So, and not the kind of twist where it's like that doesn't make any sense. It's like,
no,
love that. Yeah,
lots of really great actors, you know, Rachel McAdams,
Jason
Canada's
Bateman.
sweetheart, charming as always, Jason Bateman.
Love her.
That Jesse Clemens, I believe,
is that the guy from New Girl?
His name. No, this is the blonde, the cop character.
Oh,
he's in Fargo. He's married to Kirsten Dunst.
Oh, wow.
Because I know too many celebrity facts.
Yes, you do.
Anyway, he is great. He's very, very, very good at playing the like unsettling, the unsettling neighbor. Yes,
Such a
don't
good
want to say more
movie.
about that, but it's
No.
such a good movie.
Oh yeah, and I mean, you'll learn by the end of it. Maybe you should leave murder mystery parties to the professional. Go seek out Countdown Escape in Thunder Bay or whatever your nearest escape room is, and do them the safe way. don't don't make it real. That's bad.
Yes.
Let's head into the next one.
Let's go to the next one. Okay. So our next one is What We Do in the Shadows. And this is definitely an older one.
Yeah.
But it is a really great one. And also, this is the one that is available on Canopy on our streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you watched it before, you can watch it for free at home, stream away. And this one is a mockumentary. So it's filmed as a documentary, but obviously it's not a real documentary because it's following four vampire roommates.
Just
So
an
it can't
amazing
be
premise.
real.
Yeah.
Just an amazing premise. So they all have supernatural powers, and they vary between, like, one of them is a 379-year-old vampire, and then someone else is an 862-year-old vampire. And yeah, so different stages in vampire life, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, is where they are. And there's a lot of the usual issues you have when you're sharing a home with people who are not exactly like you. The usual sort of bumping up against each other. Only when these roommates get mad at each other, then they like hiss and like maybe they
Turn
turn
into
into
bats.
bats.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really funny. It's just a really funny, yeah, just a great humorous story.
So
What We
good.
Do in
And
the Shadows.
it's Taika Waititi, so if you liked
It
Thor
is.
Ragnarok or JoJo's Rabbit, he
Yes.
stars in it and it's super funny. And eventually they meet up with um some werewolves as well. So there's some werewolf vampire shenanigans. And I'll just
Indeed.
say my one favorite fact about that movie, which I think they turned into a TV show recently as well,
Yes.
but I think it
I was
follows
gonna,
the
yes.
werewolves. So we'll talk about it in a second.
There's two different, okay,
You
well, you
go.
go.
No, go into it now. I'll tell you my fact
Okay.
after.
Okay. There's two different TV shows, actually. There's
Oh.
one that is a there's one that's a spinoff of the werewolves, and then there's another one that is a spinoff of the like kind of hapless police service in
Oh.
this town where there's these werewolves and vampires.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there's also the main show spinoff is two, right? Yeah, I think there's three.
I have no idea. I will Google
And
it
they're
while
all
you
supposed to
talk.
be quite good. Okay. Well, I remember reading that like one of them on the vampire new one, there's like an attention vampire who just like feeds off other people. So he just like stands and like
Oh.
drones at you
Amazing. Wow.
and like captures your essence that way. And then
That's
people are just
amazing.
left like how sometimes when you get trapped by someone like in a corner at a party and it's half an hour later and you feel like you just need to go to
Completely
sleep
drained. Yeah.
because you maybe they were an energy vampire.
There you go.
Who
That's
knows?
some real life stuff right there. They were like, you know what? That's real. Let's put it in. There, those people are vampires. Oh
Yes.
yes, but my fun fact. So there's
Your fun fact.
one human character named Stu. I won't give anything away about his character other than he's like their tech guy, and he's actually in real life his name I'm pretty sure is Stu, and he was just a guy on set one day that was helping them with some tech issues, and they're like, "Do you want to be in the movie?" Like with helping with tech things, and he didn't really want to be, but they put him in there anyway.
They needed him.
Yeah, they're just like you're like the one of the best characters that everybody loves now, and Stu is the guy. Yeah.
Yes, there's a TV show. There's the TV show set in Staten Island. And then there's I think another one that's set in New Zealand. And then the one with the like police officers, I think maybe is new. I'll put links to information all in the blog post about this episode.
I'm gonna have to watch these shows because I didn't realize that there was more than one.
Yes, and they're actually supposed to be good, which is not always the case with spinoffs and stuff.
Mhm.
Like sometimes they're quite disappointing, but they're all supposed to be pretty good.
Hell yeah. Love it. Okay, our next one I think is
Okay.
my rec. Well, it's definitely my
Mhm.
rec, even though I'm sure whatever. I'm going to recommend Adventure Time, which is a TV show, and you can borrow it from the library. It sits in the children's section. It's on children's TV shows. I feel like half the time we record, I'm like, my rec is a kid's thing. You should
Okay.
enjoy it. Oh yeah, no shame there. But Adventure Time is this series that follows Jake the dog and Finn the human, and they live in the land of Ooh, which is like this post-apocalyptic human world where there's like a princess bubblegum and she's made of candy and her whole kingdom is candy, and there's Marceline the vampire queen, and like she's a vampire and she drinks the color red. So it's very simple. The episodes are maybe 22 minutes long. Like it's super short, but it does have an
Yeah.
overarching plot, which is interesting to me. Like kids shows usually don't do that. Well, they do now. I think that's kind of started to become a trend, but it was very loose.
Serialized. This is quite serialized.
Yeah, like you don't
Yes.
have to watch it in order because it is a kids show, but especially in the later seasons it gets a lot more plot based, and you kind of find out why they are in the world they are, and there's really touching relationships between all the characters, and it's a very sweet show. And if you're just looking for something simple to throw on, there's like 7 or 8 seasons and you'll just
Mhm.
power. I think I powered through it in like a week. So it's a very sweet show. I would say that it's one of the if you liked Gravity Falls and things like that, then you should try Adventure Time. Gravity
Also
Falls.
a great show. Gravity Falls is great. Similarly, there's unfortunately we don't have this because it's a Netflix movie, and often Netflix is, proprietary and snobby, and so they're like, we're not going to put stuff out on DVD. Too bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anyway, because there's a new movie out called The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it's by the Gravity Falls people, and it's delightful.
No way.
Yes. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, you do need to have Netflix to access that one. But if you happen to, it is great.
I will have to check it out. I think we threw it on for my dog the other day because sometimes he freaks out if there's like no sound. So I caught
Dog.
glimpses of it and I was like,
Yeah.
this looks good. He liked it.
Yeah, I could say we watched it with my 2-year-old, but that would be a lie. He'd gone to bed.
There you go. That's just an excuse at this point. You're just like, oh, my son watched it. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah, no, he went to bed. It was for us.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was also going to recommend like Bob's Burgers, but we don't really have any of
Mm.
the show. We have graphic novels of it, which is interesting, and graphic novels of Adventure Time, but we don't have any of the
Yes.
actual show. But it's same kind of thing. It's a cartoon that's for adults, and it's just a very sweet show. I like Adventure Time. Go watch it. It's got a great catchy theme. It's good. It's good stuff.
Okay. My next rec is something that it's you don't have to get the DVDs out from the library, and it's not on Canopy. It's on just plain old YouTube. So
Love it.
open to anyone to watch. It is a British game show, and it's so funny. It is absurd. It's called Taskmaster, and the premise is there is the Taskmaster who sets the tasks, as you might have guessed.
Yes.
And then the Taskmaster's assistant. And how it works is usually they're comedians, sometimes they're actors, but usually comedians, are given a series of tasks to complete that are taped in advance. And then they go into the studio and they'll also do a few in studio tasks, and they'll show the people completing the tasks that were pre-taped, and then the taskmaster will rank and give out points from 1 to 5. And then, so someone wins the episode, and then someone wins a whole series. So
Okay.
that's one of the things that's really fun about it, is that every series, and there's 11 so far, there's a different kind of cast, because there'll be like
Oh,
8 episodes following the same 5 comedians. So it kind of gives you a chance to get to know them and guess how they're going to solve the tasks they're given. It is absolutely absurd. I'm going to try and give you, okay, so here's an example of the kind of tasks that they might get. The kind of, one of the great examples is, here's 3 like giant exercise balls, and they were outside at the foot of a hill, and they said, we'd like you to put these 3 exercise balls on top of the exercise yoga mat that's on the top of that hill, and whoever finishes it first, gets the most points, basically. So, one person holds 2 of the balls and starts kicking the other one ahead of them up the hill. And of course, like, that's not going to go great, right? Like the ball keeps falling over and running off.
mm-hmm.
Someone runs up the hill with just the one, and then puts it on the top of the hill and runs down to get the next one. And then of course the ball on the top of the hill starts rolling down, and then someone else is, it's all about like, what way does your mind go to try to solve this? And so then someone else asks some people in the park for help, because there was nothing in the rules saying you couldn't do that. And they help her. And then, right. And then one person reads the task, walks up to the top of the hill, gets the yoga mat, brings it back down, puts it on the sidewalk, and puts the 3 balls on the yoga mat. And then he's done.
Wow.
Because he put the balls on the mat on the top of the hill.
Yeah, because it was
the mat
on top of the hill.
Wow. Yeah. Right?
Tricky.
So sometimes it is tricky. So sometimes there is like a kind of a loophole like that. And sometimes there's not. Sometimes they're just ridiculous. Like there's no smart way to paint a horse while riding on a horse.
Just do
your best, basically. Like there's not going to be a tricky way around that. But sometimes there are. And so it's always fun to watch them and think like, well, what would I do? Or how would I solve this? And every episode there's a prize task, and it'll be, bring in the most satisfying thing. And someone will be like, okay, well, I'm going to bring in like a perfectly baked loaf of bread, and someone else will bring in like a completed Rubik's Cube or whatever. And it can go in any direction at all, which is really fun. You never know how people are going to go. It is all a big joke. It's a bunch of comedians. So it's not like, you can't get too invested in who's getting points and who's winning, because sometimes the taskmaster will just be like, I didn't like that. Or
no,
like someone will bring in something for the prize task that they're all like proud of, and he'll just be like, no. 2 points like or whatever.
Apples, where you're like relying on the judge as well, eh?
Exactly. Like you can't always anticipate exactly which way he's going to go. And the other thing that's really fun is the assistant, who is the one who hands out the tasks, he is actually the guy who created the show in the first place. And does create all the tasks, but he doesn't play that character. He plays the assistant character on the show. I feel like I haven't done a great job selling it, which is too bad, but it's so funny. You can nothing to invest. Just go on YouTube and Google like best taskmaster moments, and you will laugh. I've laughed till I've cried.
Yeah.
Really? That's amazing.
I've seen that I don't know their names, but the redhead guy, he's like fairly young. He pops up Alex, a lot on TikTok. Yeah, they think he's hilarious whenever he does.
He is.
Oh, it sounds really good. Is the taskmaster the same every season? But
yes.
Okay.
He and the assistant are always the same, but the contestants are different. And sometimes they're people you'll recognize, like more famous British actors or comedians. a lot of the time I'll recognize maybe one in the five, and it doesn't matter because like 2 episodes in, like you'll have your favorites. Be like, oh, I can't wait to see how so and so does this, or
I love it.
oh, I can't believe Moan tried to put helium in an egg. I can't. That
What?
actually happened because
Amazing.
people like they panic, right?
Yeah,
Like you get a task and they're like, and so often you just like you can see the rationality just disappearing. And then
wow.
once they've committed to something, they just keep going. It's truly hilarious, very lighthearted. They do have, there are like beeped versions as well. So if you have kids, because sometimes there is some language that you may not want small children to hear. And so there are beeped versions often also available
Fair
online.
enough.
It's a
What's
BBC show.
what's your favorite
Wonderful.
season? Like, what would you recommend? Which one to start
Oh, honestly, I just started at the beginning and went through. I just started with season one
with? Yeah.
and went straight through. I don't know. I'd have to think about it, but
Okay. Sounds like
season
they're
one
all.
is something special.
Yeah.
There's yeah, I'm gonna give one more quick example. So
Mhm.
and then I'll stop. But so one the task was to get a prize for the taskmaster, and they gave him like 20 pounds or whatever.
Okay.
And so people brought in different things, like I can't even remember because they weren't that memorable, but one person got his name tattooed on his foot.
Oh my. That's
So that is some real devotion. That is kind of describes how far people can
they're
go on this
intense.
game. Yes.
Did he win?
Yes. Price. Yeah, he got 5 points.
Oh,
Like,
as
wow,
he should. Jeez.
5 points.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah,
do it for the gag.
it's
Now he's got a story.
exactly. I mean, it's just a little name on his foot, whatever. But
Sure.
yeah, truly, truly a delight. Taskmaster on YouTube.
All right. I'm going
Okay.
to have to check that one out. And I think for time we've
All right.
got one more. We could do it.
We've got one more. Yes.
Okay. All right. The last and final recommendation for the day is The Good Place, which is have you seen The Good Place? I know we both kind of
Sure have.
I figured. It is a classic what is it? Shh, not a doctor. Those ones? Well, I can't remember. It's the
It's
same
a
guy. Sorry.
it's Mike Schur.
Yes.
Schur?
Yeah,
S
something like that.
Schurr,
Yeah.
I think.
And at the end of his episode, he always goes, shh, not a doctor. I think.
He did The Office as
Yeah.
well.
And Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you liked
Mm-hmm.
those shows, try The Good Place. Let me describe it for you. I don't want to give too much away, but at this point, it is a
Yes.
fairly older show. But basically, what happens is Eleanor Shellstrop wakes up and she is told, um, welcome, you've made it to the good place because she has died. And she's like, oh, I am dead. Understandably, a little confused.
A
And
little confused.
yeah, so I'll read the description because I'm going to lose my train of thought. So, The Good Place is a highly selective, heaven like utopia designed and run by the afterlife architect Michael as a reward for her righteous life. However, she realizes she was sent there by mistake and must hide her morally imperfect past while trying to become a better and more ethical person. So you basically follow Eleanor trying to get through and fake being in the good place. And every time she fakes something, it kind of like goes awry very quickly. Like, for
Kind of
example, one time she
boomerangs
tries,
back.
yeah, she like tries to fly or something, and then there's like animals everywhere. That might be me misremembering it.
There's the one where she has a lot to drink and steals all the shrimp at the party, and then
Mm,
like giant mutant shrimps are attacking.
yeah. Yeah, so like every
Yeah.
time she commits something unethical in the good place, it like rebounds on her, which is really cool. And you get to like meet other characters. There's uh I'm blanking on all of their names. I know like Jamila Jamil is in it. She's Tahani. She plays Tahani, and she's just like this gorgeous model character in the show. And you grow to like learn a little bit more about the Good Place, and there's some twists and turns and fun stuff involved in there, and they all
Yes.
grow as people. And it's a really heartwarming show and very fun. And I would say a lot of the times shows like The Office or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they aren't good examples. Sorry, shows like New Girl, they fall into the trap where they like get the couple that everybody wants to be together, and then like the
Yeah.
show kind of loses momentum.
Plateaus.
But I
Mm-hmm.
found with this one, because it was so twisty and like fresh, it really didn't happen. So like when people got together, it was like, wow. And then the plot just kept going. It was really nice. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine does the same thing. I would say they're a very good job. Maybe this guy is just good at that.
He's just good. I think he's just a great showrunner. But yeah,
Mhm.
very for for a show that is just fun. Like it's quite funny, but it also is asks some really interesting philosophical questions about like what do we owe to each other and morality.
Is
It's
there ever any
yeah,
ethical is there ethical
how
consumption
do you
under
live ethically?
yeah, at all? What's that
Mm-hmm.
saying? There is no ethical consumption under capitalism. And there's also the trolley question comes into play at one point.
Right.
And I've never
It's a
thought about the
classic.
trolley problem in so many different ways. Like, just as an example, they're like, okay, theoretically, this trolley's happened, whatever, you're on this trolley. Every single piece is swapped out. Is it still the same trolley? All right, like as you're going down the track, every single piece is switched out. So technically, it's not the same trolley that you started on. What do you think of that? And you're like, my brain.
That's also very similarly was just discussed in WandaVision.
Yes, it
Funnily
was.
enough. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Another good show. If you have
Yes.
access, go
Another
watch
good
WandaVision.
show. Yeah.
Another twisty
Yes.
show. I love that.
Indeed.
We should have another episode where we just talk about WandaVision.
These superhero
uh,
shows, there's a bunch of them.
yeah.
Anyway, what do you think? We shared some great recs, hopefully, something to appeal to anyone, to
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think so. So we'll leave it there then. And next week we have another on the screen one, but we will see you then. So I'll do the wrap up. Thank you again for watching us. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to us, and leave us a rating if you're listening on a podcast, because it helps people find the show. And yeah, our show notes, as always, if you need any titles or links, is www.tbplofftheshelf.com, and we will see everybody next week. Bye bye.
Bye.